Hey, how are you guys? It's April 1st. Roxanne here. I just wanted to talk about a couple of the executive orders, a couple of the changes that are happening so quickly now, as we all know, under the Trump administration. And the reason I want to bring a few things up is I don't want to be silent about everything. I want everybody to be thinking about where do they stand on these issues. Where do we stand when it comes to truth and justice? And when dark things are beginning to happen, how will we react if it begins to happen near us or to us? Many people are being involved in this. And I'd love to get your feedback on what you think and how to act. I don't think we can just ignore it and be silent about it and not talk about it. It's not going to go away. We are under the end times. The spirit of the antichrist is ruling and is running things right now, as far as I'm concerned, as far as I can see. Here we have these articles that have been coming up about how, some foreign college students are being targeted for deportation. They use different titles with the media to get us thinking a certain way, I know, of course. But this is happening where some students are being targeted and kind of without due process being threatened, I guess, or being told in strong language what they need to do, that they need to go or whatever. Now, I'm not against, maybe the fact that some people may need to leave the country, maybe they're here illegally, but I am for, if you're here legally, then get due process. Take the time to do that. And if we're in a nation where no one can speak against any policy and they have to just totally agree with one ruler, one administration, one ruler, no one can say anything that administration doesn't want them to say, that's not a good thing right now. Because the administration is still human, they're subject to error, and they can become very dark. We've already watched different issues happening, changes in the Social Security, cutting of certain departments suddenly with no process, no discussion. That's not an act of democracy, that's an act of autocracy, dictatorship, I don't know what you want to call it, but how far do we want to let it go? And how does it affect us? Where do we stand on this? It's just something to look at. Because the next thing you know, they're asking these students to leave suddenly without any process. And I don't know the story behind all these students. But the next thing you know, they could be saying, well, anyone who didn't take the C-19 vaccine or something must be deported to a prison somewhere. I don't know. I'm just saying. Because if all they have to do is make up a rule and then suddenly enforce it, there's no vote, no due process, and they're able to enforce things like that, that's called dictatorship, and that's a problem because they're only human. We're not under God Almighty, and we don't have to bow down to a mere human. They're subject to error and subject to darkness and evil. Okay, so here's another executive order that was signed, I guess by Trump, restoring truth and sanity to American history. And this order is available for you to look at whitehouse.gov. And my thing is, what do you think about something like this? Take a look at it. One thing I noticed is that there's a section here. I mean, there might be some positive stuff in here. Take a look at it. But here's a section that concerns me, and this is what concerns me about it. Here, the section says, prohibit expenditure on exhibits or programs that degrade shared American values, divide Americans based on race, or promote programs or ideologies inconsistent with federal law and policy. Okay? And there are some other statements in here. You guys can take a look at it. But to me, when you start saying things like, okay, we're not going to show this at the museum because people might get upset about it. Let's say, for instance, the Holocaust that happened, or slavery, Black American slavery that happened, or what happened to some of the natives in the land. If that history is hidden, That's not a good thing, because many problems that were caused by that have not been corrected. And the same tendency for something like that to happen again could still exist if we don't know that that ever happened. It's about truth and honesty and disclosure and justice. So if this executive order is saying that certain things can't be seen and they have to be hidden from history, that's a problem, in my opinion. So what do you guys think? I mean, the way that this administration has been working is they do a lot of things that seem to promote good values. Like, for instance, they may say, well, we're going to remove this because it's against Christian values or biblical values. But then on the other side, they do something that could be dangerous. I mean, they're just human. And we don't have to just totally obey without question any human being. There's no human being like that that's perfect and has no dark tendencies on this earth. And that's a dangerous position to allow someone to be in. So it's time to wake up and kind of decide, to me, like, what are you going to do about the issues that apply to you? What are you going to do? Because before you know it, anybody could be being targeted. And if we allow something to happen to anyone without due process, pretty soon it could be us. You know, all the dictator has to do is decide, oh, I don't like this kind of person. Oh, this person has pink skin. Oh, they have to go. Oh, this person believes that children should have natural foods and they shouldn't eat processed foods from the supermarket. Oh, we're gonna put them in a certain re-education program. You see what I mean? So just food for thought. What do you guys think? Let me know below. Okay, that's it for now.